Fading Humanity. The Challenge of a Shrinking World Population. Chapter 1. The Beginning of Population Decline. In the last century, the world witnessed rapid population growth. Nations expanded, cities swelled, and new generations flourished. But now, in an unexpected twist, many countries are reporting declining birth rates. For the first time in modern history, population growth has begun to slow, and in some places, reverse. This trend isn't just a number on a chart. It reflects major changes in how people live, work, and plan their futures. In several developed countries, such as Japan, Italy, and South Korea, the average number of children per family has dropped below the level needed to sustain the population. Why is this happening now? The reasons are complex and deeply rooted in cultural, economic, and personal factors. Couples are choosing to have fewer children, or none at all, for a variety of reasons, ranging from the high cost of living to shifting personal goals. Some experts worry this trend could lead to labor shortages, economic decline, and challenges in supporting an aging population. Others see it as a natural adjustment after decades of rapid growth. Is it a crisis or an opportunity? This chapter introduces the global shift and sets the foundation for understanding the deeper forces behind declining populations. The story of the human race is changing, not with an explosion, but with a slow, quiet fade. Chapter 2. Small families, the new norm. Across the world, the traditional idea of a large family is slowly fading. In its place, a new norm has emerged: small families with one or two children, or sometimes, none at all. This shift is not sudden. It has been growing for decades as societies modernize and personal priorities evolve. In today's fast-paced world, more couples are making the conscious decision to delay or forego parenthood. They prioritize education, career growth, travel, and personal freedom. The idea of parenthood, once seen as a life goal, is now viewed by some as an optional, even burdensome responsibility. Economic concerns also play a huge role. Raising children has become significantly more expensive. From childcare and schooling to healthcare and housing, the financial burden of raising even one child is higher than ever before. Many feel that having fewer children is a practical choice to maintain quality of life. Cultural attitudes have also shifted. In many urban societies, having a small family is associated with being modern and progressive. There's less pressure from extended families to marry early and have many children, especially in developed countries. Social media and changing values have reinforced the image of independent, child-free lifestyles. Governments and demographers are watching these trends closely. While small families may bring personal and short-term financial stability, they also contribute to a future where fewer young people support an increasing number of elderly. This chapter explores how modern families are redefining themselves and why the small family trend is not just a lifestyle change, but a major factor influencing global population patterns. Chapter 3. Women's Education and Career Growth. One of the most powerful forces behind the global decline in birth rates is the rise of women in education and the workforce. In past generations, women were often expected to marry young and raise large families. Today, the picture is very different. Across the world, more women are attending universities, building careers, and gaining financial independence. As women focus on personal and professional development, they often choose to delay marriage and childbirth. For many, having children is no longer seen as a duty, but as a choice, one that may or may not fit into their goals. This shift in priorities doesn't mean that women don't want families. Instead, they are seeking balance. They want relationships, careers, and time for themselves. In many cases, the demands of raising a child can feel overwhelming, especially when there is little support from governments or employers. In dual-income households, time is a limited resource. Working mothers often face challenges in managing both career and family responsibilities. Some choose to have only one child. Others decide that parenting is simply not a path they wish to take. In addition, gender equality plays a role. As women gain equal footing in society, they are less likely to follow traditional family models. They seek partners who share responsibilities equally, and in many societies, such partnerships are still rare. This chapter highlights how women's empowerment has brought positive change to the world, while also reshaping population patterns. When women have the freedom to choose, the result is often fewer children, but potentially a more fulfilled life. As we move forward, supporting women in both work and family may be key to balancing population and personal choice. Chapter 4. Urban living and financial pressure. Modern cities are full of energy, opportunities, and convenience. But they also come with high costs, and that cost is often one of the biggest reasons people hesitate to start families. In urban areas, the basic needs of life, housing, education, healthcare, and transportation, are expensive. Rent prices continue to climb, leaving little financial room for raising children. Even in developed nations, young couples struggle to afford a home big enough for a growing family. The dream of owning a house with a backyard is fading in favor of compact apartments and shared spaces. Education is another major concern. Parents want the best for their children, and that often means costly private schools, extracurricular activities, and future college expenses. The thought of managing all these responsibilities makes many think twice about having more than one child, or having children at all. Healthcare, childcare, and parental leave policies also vary widely from country to country. In places where there is little government support, families must pay out of pocket, adding to the financial burden. For working parents, hiring help or sending a child to daycare becomes a necessity, not a choice, and that comes with a heavy price tag. Moreover, the pace of city life leaves little time for family. Long working hours, traffic, and constant hustle mean couples have less energy to dedicate to parenting. Emotional burnout adds to the hesitation. This chapter examines how the financial and emotional demands of urban living make family planning more difficult. Cities may represent progress, but they also challenge the very foundation of population growth, the family. Until societies address the real cost of parenting in urban life, many will continue to choose the path of fewer or no children. Chapter 5. Medical advancements and longevity. Thanks to modern medicine, people are living longer than ever before. Diseases that once took lives prematurely can now be treated or even prevented. While this is a great success story, it brings with it an unexpected challenge: an aging population. In many countries, especially developed ones, the number of elderly people is growing rapidly. Life expectancy has increased, but birth rates have decreased. This creates an imbalance. Fewer young people entering the workforce and more seniors needing care and support. The implications are wide-ranging. Pension systems are strained. Healthcare services must adapt to chronic illnesses and long-term care. Economies may slow down due to a shrinking labor force. With fewer taxpayers and more dependents, governments face financial pressure. Families, too, feel the effects. In cultures where children traditionally care for their aging parents, smaller families mean fewer hands to help. This emotional and financial burden can discourage younger generations from having children of their own. While longer lives are a blessing, the demographic shift highlights the need for balanced population structures. A society where the elderly outnumber the youth must rethink everything, from housing and transport to employment and education. This chapter reveals how living longer affects the future of humanity, not just in years, but in structure, care, and sustainability. Chapter 6. Governments encouraging births. With declining birth rates causing concern, many governments are stepping in. Countries like Japan, South Korea, Italy, and Hungary have introduced policies to encourage families to have more children. These include cash incentives, paid parental leave, subsidized childcare, and tax benefits. However, results have been mixed. While financial aid helps, it doesn't always change people's personal decisions. Many couples still feel that the emotional, professional, and economic costs of parenting outweigh the benefits. Societal values have shifted, and money alone can't fix that. Some countries have gone even further, offering housing benefits, free education, and long-term family support. Still, the fertility rate remains below replacement level. The issue runs deeper than finances. It's about lifestyle, freedom, and individual goals. This chapter explores how governments are trying to reverse population decline and why their efforts often fall short. Real change may require a shift not just in policy, but in culture. Chapter 7. Nature or human choice? Is population decline a natural correction, or a consequence of modern life? Some researchers believe that after centuries of growth, the human population is stabilizing, much like other species. Others argue that it's a result of human-made choices: urbanization, technology, individualism. Nature tends to balance itself. If resources are limited, populations shrink. But in the human world, we have control. We choose how many children to have, where to live, and how to structure society. Yet those choices are influenced by environment, economy, and emotion. Is it freedom, or is it a reaction to pressures beyond our control? This chapter explores the philosophical and scientific debate about whether the shrinking population is a natural process or one we've created. The answer may influence how we respond in the future. Chapter 8. Minorities and Cultural Shifts. Population decline doesn't affect all groups equally. In many places, minority communities are shrinking faster, leading to a loss of languages, traditions, and unique cultures. When birth rates drop sharply in small groups, entire identities risk disappearing. Meanwhile, in other communities, often with stronger family structures or different values, populations remain stable or even grow. This imbalance can shift the political and cultural landscape of a country. The loss of cultural diversity is not just about numbers. It affects art, food, language, spirituality, and the shared memory of humanity. Every disappearing community is like a lost chapter in a global story. This chapter reflects on how population trends are rewriting culture and identity across the world, and why preserving diversity matters. Chapter 9. Gender Ratios and Future Societies. In some countries, gender imbalances have added another layer to the population crisis. Due to long-standing social preferences and selective birth practices, there are significantly more men than women in certain regions. This imbalance creates difficulties in marriage, partnership, and family formation. In the long term, it also affects community harmony, leading to loneliness, mental health issues, and even social unrest. At the same time, changing gender roles have reshaped family dynamics. As women gain freedom and equality, many reject traditional roles, including marriage and motherhood. Men, too, are redefining masculinity, often struggling to adapt to these changes. What happens to society when fewer people want to marry or have children? This chapter examines how gender, identity, and modern expectations are creating a new social order, one that challenges old norms and forces us to rethink the idea of family. Chapter 10. The Future, Shaping a New Human Society. The future of humanity may not be about more people, but better lives. As populations shrink, we have a chance to build more thoughtful, sustainable societies. But it won't be easy. With fewer workers, automation and artificial intelligence will become essential. Education systems must prepare for jobs that don't yet exist. Healthcare must evolve to care for aging citizens. Communities must find new ways to connect without relying on traditional families. Some nations may welcome migrants to balance numbers. Others may change laws around work, parenting, and retirement. Culture, too, will adapt, perhaps embracing chosen families, shared living, or new forms of community.